It's just frustrating to be able to see through this thing, and it's like it's just frustrating. That's all. And it's so hard. It takes a lot of work. I mean, some of the avenues I went down and I had to back up. See, what happens is when you're trying to figure out what in the world's going on, you go down this avenue, and that's the dead end. You have to swallow your pride and admit you went down a dead end and back up. And then you go down this avenue, and that was the wrong way. And you have to admit you back up. You go down this avenue, and you admit that was the wrong way, and you back up, and you start over. And you might have 10 of those experiences, but you start to find common denominators in each one of those experiences. You back up. You start over. Now, the whole time you're using your Bible as your litmus test. Now, this is the biggest obstacle for people to overcome when they're seeking the truth. This is the biggest obstacle. If there's a Bible verse that says it's happening, it's happening. But you go by your own understanding and you think it's this way. Instead of believing the Bible, you believe your own understanding. It messes you up. So let's say you're studying the Gnostics, or the New Age, or the Jesuits, the Freemasons, the Rosicrucians, the XYZ, anything. Is that this? Anything that you're studying, it doesn't matter which piece of the pie. You better make sure that you have a foundation to compare it with, and that would be Scripture. Scripture is your script. The pride of man, or the pride of a woman, it's hard for them to admit they went down a wrong path, or admit they believed a lie. We've all believed lies because you're born in a system of lies. And so as you unfold all these lies, all these false teachings, all these liars, and all these people out there, and the gurus, and the false prophets, and the seers, and all these people, and it's like, as you unfold it, there are some common denominators, and there are some root truths. They do get some stuff right. But if you have some spiritual downloads, information, whatever you want to call it, you better have you a foundation, because you will end up in this path, worshiping this path, worshiping this piece of the pie, worshiping this. You will end up worshiping the piece instead of the whole. You will end up preaching the piece of the pie instead of the whole. The whole truth's encoded everywhere. And the word whole means holy, 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 healthy, health, complete, solid. The word whole means solid. S-O-L is whole, healthy. You're solid. Do yourself a solid and look up the etymology of whole. Do yourself a solid and look up the etymology of whole. W-H-O-L-E. What you'll find is when you start looking at etymology of words, you'll find that most words have almost all words have this weird, you see the contradiction, you'll say, how can it mean two things that are opposite? Because it's a Janus word. And you take that and you meditate on it for 6 months, a year, or whatever. Unless you come across somebody like me and explain why Janus words even exist. So the Janus word, Janus, a Janus word could be spelled the same, but it means two opposite things. How's that even possible? If words are the hologram, how's that possible? Because at the cross, Jesus went down, he went through, and he went up. So the word cleave is a good example. Cleave means to cut, but it also means to union. The word cleave means to cut, and it means to union. So the Janus words are preaching Jesus. They're preaching the cross. They're preaching what happened at the cross. It reveals the flesh mind versus the spirit mind, because the spirit mind is counterintuitive to the flesh mind. You have to really cut the noise off, get by yourself, and really just meditate on what's really happening. You gotta disconnect from this place for a season. I mean, some people might be able to do it without disconnecting, but I don't see how. I don't see how. Unless somebody comes in to teach you, to show you what they did. They spent 10 years in just total meditation, isolating them, functioning down here, but isolating themselves so they could get to the source code truth. Maybe they can help you see it, but then you still have to do your own thought, because you don't want to just believe what somebody tells you. You want to compare it with the reality. The universe is your university. And so when you have somebody who's hit source code and understands the archetypes that are encoded everywhere, understands this is not even real, this is simulation. Time is there, every day is the same. There's nothing new under the sun. Every day is a story. It's the same story. When you find somebody that knows that, it's gonna hurt. They're gonna tell you stuff that's gonna hurt. We try to say it in grace, but when you speak a lie, if I speak a lie, I would want you to rebuke me. If I'm sitting here speaking a lie, I would want you to rebuke me. If I'm speaking a lie to myself, I would want you to rebuke me. If I'm going down the wrong path, I would want you to rebuke me. Why? That's love. That's real love. If somebody tells you the truth, that's love. Truth and love are married. Truth and love are married. It feels like pain at first. If you say, husbands, love your wives, Christ loved the church, and wives, submit as unto the Lord, obey your husband. That hurts to most people. They hate authority. If you say, submit to authority, people get mad. Yeah, but my authority is evil. My authority is blah, blah. Can God move the king's heart? Yeah. Are you evil? Yeah. Is your heart evil? Yeah. Is your old Adamic nature just as evil as your boss or your coworker or your family yeah? Does that mean you have to stay around them? No. You can change jobs, but I hate to tell you, but you're gonna find the same stuff at the new job. You can change marriage partners, but you're gonna find the same stuff in the new marriage. It's the same one, because you're actually reflecting what's happening here. And I know this is kind of esoteric sounding, but here's what's happening. You're actually reflecting back what you vibrate with. So you got two people that come together because they're vibrating, and then there's a split, right? They come together, they cross paths, come together, whatever, but then you notice a split. Why? Okay, so it looks like it's vibrating in the same frequency, right? But then there's a split. Why? Because one's vibrating at a different frequency now. Everybody's actually, what's happening around you is what you're vibrating with. You're in union. Everything's union. Cut, turn, union, flow. So you're in union with what you're in union with. Do you understand what I'm saying? The reason you're where you're at right now is because you're in union what's in your heart, in your mind. The reason you're in union with those kind of people, that situation, or whatever it is because the union is started in your heart. And this is just a reflection of your heart. This is all a reflecting point. So the reason that you're in union with a person or a place or a thing or a situation is because that's what you're vibrating on. Now, it's possible that I could be driving right here, run over a bottle and hit a flat tire. Am I in union with that? It could be just a glitch, but I'm going to get out of my car, put my spare on, or I'm going to fix it, whatever I need to do, and I'm going to keep going. Just because something happens, it can either stop you or you keep going. About 6 months ago, I was going on the highway, and I had a rock hit my windshield on my lunch break. Right there it is. If you can see it, it's right there. And so on my lunch break now, so what I do, I didn't want that crack to spread, so I stopped at the auto place. I read the instructions, I put that stuff in there, and it doesn't look like it spread because I didn't want to have to spend money to get a new windshield, because I've done that before, and it's just a waste of time and money and everything. So I think it's been like that for 6 months or more, and the heat and the cold, so it doesn't seem like it's going to spread it. So what am I? Okay, so a rock hit my windshield. Does that mean I'm in union with that windshield rock? Well, actually that happened a year before, and it repeated. It was a lot of stress to get it done and wait in line, and the lady down here, she didn't know what she was doing. She said, we ordered the wrong windshield and you got to wait 2 more hours or something like that. So I said, okay, I'll just go get the stuff and stop the crack. So in a way, I was in union with it, but I had set my mind that I'm not gonna worry about that little piece right there. I'm gonna give it a try, and it seems to be fine. So what was I in union with then? It cost me, I have insurance. It cost me, I raised my insurance up after that last one, my deductible. But it still would have cost me time, money, a little bit of money. That cost me, what, $10, $15 instead of $100 or $200, whatever my deductible is. I don't even know. So, long story short, what did I learn to be in union with? I learned to be prepared. I raised my insurance up, lowered my deductible. I said, I'm not going to sit in line again. So I fixed it myself, or temporarily fixed it. And so I was in union with a whole new paradigm, the paradigm shift. Like some few months ago or something, I got a flat tire. So instead of taking it down here to the place, getting them to fix it, I just took the tire off, fixed it myself. I had never done it. I've never done that before, but I said, I'm going to learn it, because I'm not going to, if I'm in another city and I get a flat, I need to be able to fix this in the middle of the night, you know. And so I unioned with the solution, not with the problem. You were in union with the solution, not the fear. So if you have a fear dart hitting you, don't union with that. Be proactive. Be prepared. Pre-cut. Prepare before it happens. Know what's going to happen before it happens. That's it in a nutshell. I'm just talking. Try to prepare. You can't be prepared for everything, but you can actually have the mindset of, okay, if it breaks, if it's broken, if I'm in this situation, I'm going to figure out how to get it done. You got to shift your mindset that there is a solution to every problem, and the solution was there before the problem appeared. You got to believe that. And if you don't believe it, then you probably don't believe the lamb slain before the foundation world, because that's where it starts. And so no matter which avenue of thinking you go down, whether it's a Gnostic, whether it's a Gnosticism, that is, or whether it's the numerology, or whether it's the whatever it is. There's so many systems, cults and isms out there, it's not even funny. So whatever system you go down, be able to admit swallow your pride, admit you believe a lie, turn around, go back the other way. But your pride is what stops you from growing. There's a lot of people that are stuck. There's this guy he created the ICCN code. He's stuck in that. He can't back up. He thinks that's the way. He thinks that his ICCN code is the ultimate. He really believes that. He really does. Mr. Astrotheology, he thinks that astrotheology is the way. He really believes it, but he won't back up. His pride won't let him back up. The numerology people, they think that's the way. You can tell them, some people say numbers are the answer. And you can say, well, so you think numbers, here, all you have to pull them out of their deception, you can say, look, so you think numbers are the answer. How do you describe number 1? You say 1. How do you describe number 2? 2. How do you describe number 3? 3. And you say, okay, so you describe the numbers with words, right? So you can't really function without words in your system. So evidently words are more real than the numbers. Words count. Notice used the word count for counting numbers. Words count more than numbers, but they can't admit it. They're stuck in their little piece of the pie. And as they're stuck in the piece of the pie, if they would study other pieces of the pie, they would start to find a common denominator, and that common denominator would show them that their piece of the pie is just a piece. It's not the whole truth. But they can't back up because of their pride. If you're not willing to swallow your pride and back up and say, okay, I believed a lie, I thought my piece of the pie was the ultimate truth, you will never get there. And it's true, it's the same, like when you're dividing the universe, the same as dividing the Bible. So you'll study under this Baptist preacher, or this Methodist, or this Pentecost, or this whatever. The Mormons do it like crazy. They get stuck in that Mormon cult and they never escape, it seems like. And so you get in that little piece of the pie, and you get all your answers, you think, but something still ain't right. You can't put your finger on it, but something just don't line up. You can't figure it out. Something just don't line up. Something's not working. Your marriage ain't working. Your investments ain't working. Your job ain't working. So if it was true, why ain't everything working? So you got a piece of the pie. Everything should be running smooth. Sometimes there's trouble, but if you see the whole pie, you know the trouble's temporary. It's temporary. So you're going around your circuit every day. You're going around the circuit every day, going around the circuit. So you hit a bump in the road, something happens. It scares you to death or whatever. You can go and lose control and mess up your cycle. Or you can say, this too shall pass. I know it's just a cycle. I know it's just a bump in the road. And you just keep going through your cycle every day, the cycle. And so your inner man, even though you have a bump in the road in 3D, your inner man can just stay in that. You don't even have a cycle with the inner man. So the cycle has a bump, but your inner man is just standing there upright. The cycle is the horizontal plane, the flesh mind, the whore. The spirit is the solid plane, like that tree over there, that pole right there. It's upright, it's stable, it's solid, it's not moving. So if you're in the 5D mindset, in the now, even if you hit a bump, you know this too shall pass. You just hang on. Just wait for it to pass. Don't lose your cool. It's going to pass. What's my point of all this? You're born in a system of lies because the system of lies reflects the old Adam who believed nothing but lies when he dropped down. Adam and Eve dropped down, and that created the dark side. even though the night was there before it happened, but that was just prepared for them because God knew they would fall. So the dark, people need stuff to function. If you're in delusions and deceptions and lies, there's going to be cults and isms and all this stuff for you to keep you busy. But when you move into truth, you don't need those cults and isms and pieces of the pie. You just swat them away because you have the truth in here. You don't need anything. Like this guy playing his music real loud. What's he trying to do? He wants attention. He has a void in his heart. He wants you to see him. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Oh, he's got his nice speakers. He's great. Look at him. 1 minute. He's got it. Look at him. So look at me. Look at me. You already know what his personality is by the way he's acting. Better turn those speakers up, boy. You got to get some more attention.